There's a new tool category that we talk about, CSPM, Cloud Security Posture Management, that theoretically addresses these conditions, these situations. What's your view as a cybersecurity tool provider about CSPM, and where does that fit into cloud data security?
It's an infrastructure security basically focus, right? That's focusing on securing your infrastructure, and it does a good job at that. But at the end of the day, it throws a lot of alerts at you. Going back to the fidelity of alerts that Rahul mentioned, where do you start? Instead of, if I'm getting 1,000 alerts today, are these all important? Do I need to pay attention to them? Where I take my remediation efforts and focus it? Because we're all seeing how the resources, especially from a security perspective, are very overwhelmed. So this is where I think taking the extra step and focusing on the data and where the sensitive data is and what the attack paths around it can be huge in terms of really prioritizing your efforts to fix the problems, the important problems first, and it gives you a much better path to remediation rather than just starting with everything you have and trying to figure it out that way.
Right. As CISOs, do you think about CSPM, and is that something that's important in your data security strategy, or do you really still rely on the service provider for that?
So if I could, I don't want to jump ahead too much, but CSPM is a great first start. Right? If I think about the movement into cloud transformation or digital transformation into cloud, what's most important to me, and getting a clear view of the landscape, understanding where I may have deltas between best practice and how I'm supposed to be architecting things, understanding how my policies are built, where they live, that is kind of like the initial landscape analysis that needs to happen. So it's important, but there are more important things and more important problems to go solve.
Okay.
So I think I just have a little different opinion here. And in some cases, CSPM help. In some cases, it just sends a lot of noise. Because it totally depends on your implementation, because CSPM is driven through some specific standard, whatever you choose, based on your organization need. And if some check really fail, as per the CSPM, you are not doing good. But as a matter of fact, your implementation suggests you are doing good, because maybe I created some security groups, which is needed for my business. But CSPM is like, no, this is not required. You really need to shut it down. Maybe AWS, if you go to AWS marketplace, they're like, hey, we can really take you out of this because you are not maintaining CSPM, CS benchmark standard, whatever it is.
Right.
But yes, we are maintaining everything. Then you need to keep justifying that. You need to provide all the justification why I'm doing these things, because certain exception can always be there. As Amir mentioned, because there are some alerts which may not be relevant to me, but may be relevant to someone else. But time you really need to take a common ground and then need to pivot from there, which is going to helpful for your business need. So it's totally depend on the business to business, but yeah, definitely it's a good starting point to build a good strategy, at least around the infrastructure.
Right.